And surprisingly, it has a very nice box. You can see some texture in the lighting. Anyway, I hope your day has been well. Be ready to relax, play some Solitaire. Let's check out these cards and see what we'll be playing with tonight. I was very excited for a second. That looks a little bit better than that. But here we go. Got some bears, a brownish black color, some old-fashioned face cards. And you know what? A pleasant surprise in this deck. So let's put away our jokers and gaff cards back in the box. Shuffle up this deck. But first, we're doing it again. So for those of you who watched last week's video, we did a little, or for those of you who didn't, I should say, we did a little selection of cards, and I let you choose our next Solitaire video deck. So I thought let's do that again tonight. So some new contestants. So let's bring them out. 4 decks. Let me know which one you would like to see for our next Solitaire video. As we have the Medallions deck by Theory 11. The Super Bees deck playing cards. The B-Roll playing cards. Or the Disney 100 playing cards. This one is interesting, so I'm quite curious to see what you all will pick. You surprised me with the previous one, I'm not gonna lie. So there they are. With that being said, let's give this deck one more shuffle and cut and deal out game number 1. Also, just out of curiosity, since we've been doing this with our astrology decks, from those of you from California, let it be known, as that 10 looks very satisfying, and that 7. I'm looking forward to this deck. I don't know about you, as we already start with double aces. Those reds really pop. And there we go. Not too bad. And since we do have the California deck, for those of you who don't live here, which I assume is a good amount of you, a very good amount of you, where would you like, or would you like to travel to California? That's the better question. And then, if you would, where would you like to travel to? And if you wouldn't, why would you not like to travel to California? For those of you who don't know, I live in California currently. I have my own viewpoints and thoughts on it, but I won't let that influence your decisions. So many options of where you'd like to visit, or maybe even like to live. So let me know what your thoughts are, as we somehow had a good little finish on that one. And we're holding out on that last king, just in case we find one that's a little bit earlier, as we just keep piling on all of these low cards. Alright, I guess these are the cards we are dealt, and we will play with them, quite literally. We'll hold out one more time, and if I see a red queen, I'm just gonna stop right there and restart. There we go. Red king. as I think that might be the end of our first game. 7-7-7. And just like that, that was quite pesky, if you ask me. Let's see if there's anything else we can muster to maybe prolong this game. Oh, as it looks like we come up just short of making anything happen, so nowhere for that jack. 7, 7, once again, 9, or king. Just to take a quick look, 3 9s and 3 7s in very short distance of each other. Minorly irritating, but you know what? We still have 4 games to go. So let's clean up the field and see which cards kept us from going any further in our first game. And it has to be something a little bit nasty, as we have double 10s, double 8s, double kings, double queens, and double jacks. So double 10, jack, queen, king. Nothing we can do about that. Casino shuffle time. Actually, you know what? After this next game, I'll share a little bit of California through my eyes. Game number 2. And let's get into this deck's rating while we get at it. So, the cards, pretty durable. Nice texture. I will say, the only thing that's bothering me about them is so minor. But still, if it's one of your things, it is a pet peeve. The cut on the cards is not uniform completely. And if you can look at the bordering, you can tell on some that it's thinner and thicker on others. Such a small difference, but once you notice it, it's hard not to notice it, so my apologies if you're like me in that way. But besides that, triple fours, my goodness, it is a very well put together deck. The brownish black cards are surprisingly fitting. The old school face cards are actually very satisfying and match the tone. The green tones in the cards themselves are also appropriate. The font, the boldness of the suits on the cards, also a nice touch. The back design, just give it a second, that is a very good back design, you have to admit. At first, I didn't really know what I thought about it. I was leaning more towards the negative. But amongst others, it is actually very satisfying. As we get a chance to place down our first king to our left, flip that and we get another ace. Excellent. What else is there? I think I already said good textural durability. surprisingly, I think these get an 8 to an 8.5, as we now have triple eights. So I was not expecting that. It's one of those decks you have to feel to believe. And you know what? I'll leave a link in the description where I got them in case you want to get them. I didn't think they'd be this good. And that looks to be the end to our second game. So let's do a thorough check as there's nowhere for that queen. 5, 10, or 5. By the looks of it, building here will do us no good, as we have no red 2s. Unfortunately, on to game number 3. Wasted our... Oh, wait a second. I see it now. But does it make a difference? Wait, what the heck did I do? Oh, that's what I did. Okay, so back how it was. Queen, 5, 10, and 5. Unfortunately, it doesn't make a difference. But at least we know 100%. My bad on that one. Guess I'm a little more tired than I thought. But anyway, now on to game number 3. And just like last, there has to be something a little bit nasty lurking beneath, as we have double 2s, double triple 6s, quadruple 6s, and that is the nasty right there. So for those of you keeping tally, add another quadruple 6 to the pool. But besides that, I guess we need to turn our luck around. Alright, so let's talk a little bit about California. So I'm not gonna say where I'm from because I'm just not quite comfortable with that just yet. But I will say I am from a city in California. And like most cities in California, there is a fair amount of crime. I don't live in the best area. As you probably have occasionally heard, the police sirens blaring. But I have seen quite a bit of California. Not all of it, not even close, but here is what I believe some of the pros and cons are through my preferences. So let's deal out game number 3 and get into it. So almost anywhere you go in California that is a city or connected to a city, there will be a fair amount of heavy crime and homelessness. I don't like... Okay, so just to put that in a personal note, where we live now, we've had, I think, 2 to 3 break-in instances, had our car stolen, and I think our car was stolen by a homeless person exercising, training, that type of thing. The ocean. Gotta love the ocean. I like traveling every once in a while to the coast. I prefer the less busy tourist attraction areas. One of the biggest things I dislike is that pretty much any time of day, or night I should say, since obviously I have to be a bit of a night person, or I am a bit of a night person. Wow, 4 aces once again. Let's see if we could do anything with it. Is that it's annoying. There's no real quiet hour of the night. Almost anywhere you go. You know how sometimes in cities or towns, after like 8 o'clock, it's kind of hard to find a car. Or 10 o'clock. Not here. It's very hard to find silence and quietness as we wrap up our third game. Double sevens, double kings, and a queen. Nothing to do. No place left on the field. On to game number 4. Yeah, it's just a pet peeve. There's this grocery store that's 24 hours or along those lines that I've gone to twice, or the last 2 times I've been to that store. There were obviously the types of people that are under the influence of heavy substances, as we had triple sixes, double eights, double tens, and that looks to be it. So 6s once again. Anyway, those types of people are pretty much everywhere. A lot of things are normalized that shouldn't really be normalized. So the last 2 times I went to the store at night, there were those heavy substance users stealing, doing stuff, and it's just a little unsettling. Thank goodness I'm a bit of a taller and larger person to where it wouldn't really be someone you'd want to approach. But some things, it doesn't matter if you're 7'6" versus someone who's under the influence like that, so that's not too fun. I miss the times where I used to be able to go out at night and jog for 4 or 5 hours at a time and not really worry about anything bad happening. There would be a little, paranoia, just like naturally, because I'd run from like 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. just because it was cooler then. Like the paranoia where you wouldn't want to go through a bridge or tunnel. But thankfully I was one quick little person where I kind of overrode that fear. But nowadays, I can't do that. There are too many people around that are just not good any time of day or night. And it kind of sucks. I can't go out for a run or jog in my neighborhood without having to bring multiple forms of protection or trust others I care about to go out at that time. Then again, this isn't in every part of California, just in the areas that I kind of frequent. I don't know. What's your perception of California? I know there are many. I think California's kind of developed into that stereotype and thinking similar to the Florida man, but just having the California stereotype. So seriously, what do you think about that? Would you want to live here? I'm genuinely curious. Honestly, I'm not not sure if I would like to stay. Anyway, not to be too much of a downer, but there are the nice things. But the nice areas are nice areas for a reason, I think. Anywhere worth living that you don't really worry about much is upwards of like $2.5 million. Yeah, that's just ridiculous. And it looks like we got unlucky once again. So we move on to our final game of the night, as there's nowhere for that king, queen, 9, 10, 7, or 3. Look at all those face cards at the beginning. Dang, dang, dang. You know what? Let's go in with high hopes for our final game to see if we can add a fat stack or a win, as we had double tens. Double sevens, triple tens, triple sevens, double sixes, and double fours. My goodness, there are so many stories I could tell you about California that would just be very interesting. Personal experiences. Maybe someday, when I'm fine, letting you know where I'm actually from. My goodness, just disturbing. Sometimes some of them not as bad as you would think. It's kind of heartwarming, but yeah, mixed bag. All right. Game number 5. Last chance for us to do well, as we start with an ace. But throughout the night, we have not been able to build much on them. 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Our last battle has begun. And big brain fart right there. I was about to say I was a bit worried if we're to play that third card. And I just realized 2 twos, 2 aces, not compatible, of course. Black 6, red king. Black ace. Black king. So red jack. Red queen. Black 6, red queen, red jack. Ace. Dang it. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I was about to get a little bit, not a little bit, I was about to get worried of that being the end. But now, 2 plays to extend it. Will there be another? Oh, thank goodness. Oh, why did you have to be an 8? Somehow nowhere for that 8 and nowhere for that 7. Tough. Many aces on our knight, unable to be built upon. There's a metaphor for you there about this deck. But let's do our final check of what went wrong in our final game. As you can see, double jacks, double 4s, double 5s, triple jacks, double 10s. Wow. Quadruple jacks. We had a quadruple double tonight. So that was the California deck, surprisingly. A nice deck with some unsatisfying results. So that will be it. Another step down our journey to 1000. Let me know which deck you would like to see next time. But for now, I hope you have yourself a relaxing remainder of your night. Many sweet dreams, and once again, the medallions by Theory 11, the Super Bs, the B-roll, or the Disney 100. Let's see if I can guess right. Last time I guessed wrong. Share your thoughts, and until next time, stay safe and eat your fruits and vegetables.